Light, dark. Two simple words that have shaped some of the most iconic images in art history and completely changed the way I light my scene. What's going on? My name is Zay. I'm here to help you become a better filmmaker today. Let's get to it. Today we're breaking down the technique masters are Leonardo da Vinci and Caravaggio. They used it to create drama and depth. I'm going to show you how they did it, how modern cinema uses it, and most importantly, how I've been implementing it in my own work. So what exactly is chiaroscuro? I first learned about this term the 6 or 7 times I had to take art history. The term comes from an Italian, chiaro, which means light or clear, and oscuro, which means obscure or dark. At its core, it's all about contrasting colors and tone. This artistic technique uses strong contrast between light and dark to create a sense of volume and drama and three-dimensionality. From Leonardo da Vinci and Caravaggio in the Renaissance, to Rembrandt in the Baroque period, to Roger Deakins in modern cinematography, this technique has been captivating audiences for over 500 years. Let's break down the first key element, high contrast. I'll show you what the masters understood and how I apply it. In Caravaggio's work, notice the highlights, the brightest areas where the light directly hits the subject. This becomes your anchor point. Here's one of my shots using a similar principle. These highlights are where I want the eye to go first. Then you have your halftones, those mid-tones between highlight and the shadow. Leonardo da Vinci was obsessed with getting these perfect. In this shot, you can see how these halftones create that smooth transition. That's what makes it feel three-dimensional and not flat. Contrasting colors. The masters also use complementary colors to help push contrast even further. Warm highlights, cool shadows, it creates a separation that also piques visual interest. Now this is sfumato, a technique Leonardo da Vinci developed. It's about creating soft, smoky transitions between colors and tones. He did this by applying a thin, transparent layer of paint. So how can we recreate this in film? Is using haze, which you see around me right now. Actually, I need to add more haze. Give me 1 second. This is haze. Well, this is fog, but will dissolve into haze. Might need to refill this mug. Yeah. I use haze to help create that same glowy look, which some may see as like a dreamy look. Now for key element number 2, illusion of volume. This is what separates a flat image from one that feels sculpted. Look how Caravaggio was not afraid of complete darkness. These deep shadows where light simply does not reach. I took the same approach with this shot here. I let some areas go almost completely dark. Don't be afraid to crush those blacks when the story calls for it. But here's what separates masters from amateurs, reflected light. See the subtle detail in Rembrandt's shadows? Light bouncing off from surfaces around? Yeah, the same principle here. There isn't just a shadow, there's reflected light, giving us just enough detail to see the scene. A little reflected light prevents shadows from going completely dark. It also adds realism while maintaining drama. And you have cast shadows that help create the illusion of volume. A cast shadow is just shadows that the subject projects onto other surfaces within the scene or the painting. These ground your subject in a space and add another dimension. I'm always thinking about where these shadows fall and what they're telling the viewer. The third element is what transformed this technique into art. Focus drama. Chiaroscuro was never about just aesthetics for these painters. It was about emotion. Caravaggio used light to create divine relation to show the moment everything changes. The same principle applies to filmmaking. This lighting isn't just making things look cinematic, it's telling us how to feel. Film noir understood this. Light equals hope, knowledge, safety. Shadow equals danger, secrets, the unknown. Here half the face is in the shadow, which can represent internal conflict. The character is literally caught between light and dark. These images are 500 years apart, but use the same emotional language. Lighting does not just complement the story, it is part of the story. So let me walk you through my actual process. We're done with the theory, we're done with the actual just talking about how things work, things like that. Here's how I translate this theory into my actual shots. Think about this shot here that you see me on my talking head. I have my light right here at a 45-degree angle. I have my light back here as my backlight, and I have my camera. I have my camera in position adjacent to my light. You never want your light and your camera coming from the same direction. So I have my light and camera adjacent to each other, and I have my backlight. I can start to turn off these lights, and you'll see the difference in the lighting setup. This is house lights, what we would call in filmmaking, house lights. House lights going off. Don't mind that messing back. Well, I'm gonna turn the light off, and you see the difference? Turn it back on. But a good rule of thumb to have dramatic contrast in your images is don't be afraid to have the images have complete darkness. Here are some key things I've learned over the years. 1, don't overcomplicate it. As you can see, we're working with one light. We're working with 2 lights here in this setup. These painters work with one light source, usually a window, and start it there. 2, use your histogram. If it's not pushed to both ends of the contrast spectrum, you're not doing
Kiara's girl.
Number 3, think in shapes, not just light. You're sculpting with shadow. From the Renaissance studios to modern film sets,
Kiara's girl
has been the secret weapon of visual storytelling. Now you have the tools and understanding of how to use it in your own work. I hope this breakdown in lighting helped you either gain a new perspective or branch off new ideas, inspires you to shoot or try new things in your own cinematography techniques. Now go ahead, go out there and paint with some light, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces. Hey. Deuces.